Good day, aficionados. It is Saturday, June 25th. A lot has happened this week. A lot from the Supreme Court, as well as other cases we've been following. Well, we've put all the top stories for you in one convenient location right here. Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers claim that Miss Maxwell was on an IRA hit list and went into hiding from July of 2019 when that man named Jeff was arrested until she was arrested in 2020 because she had received death threats. Now, in legal documents prepared for Miss Maxwell's sentencing, which is set for next week, her attorneys claim that this was not her first death threat. Her attorneys tell the judge that Miss Maxwell was on an IRA hit list when her father was a member of parliament back in the late 60s. Now, the lawyers told the court that decades earlier, when Miss Maxwell was just a child and her father was a member of parliament, UK authorities found a hit list of potential targets in a safe house used by the Irish Republican Army. Her team added that Miss Maxwell's name was first on the list. Now, quick background. Robert Maxwell escaped Nazi occupation, enjoyed the British Army, where he won the Military Cross. After the war, he became a British citizen and was the Labour Member of Parliament for Buckingham from 1964 to 1970. Now, the Troubles, the name given to the conflict in Northern Ireland, which lasted from the late 1960s to 1998 and reached its height in 1972, would see 4 members of parliament killed by Republican paramilitary groups. The Provisional IRA was responsible for the murder of the Ulster Unionist Robert Bradford in 1981, Conservative Sir Anthony Berry in 1984, Britain bombing, and Tony Ian Gow in 1990. Another group, the Irish National Liberation Army, killed Tory Northern Ireland Secretary Ari Neve in 1979 after a car bomb exploded at the House of Commons. And Ghislaine was also known as the favorite of her disgraced father, who named his yacht the Lady Ghislaine and raided $460 million from his own company's pension fund. Now, a filing with the court also said that Miss Maxwell's life has been ruined. Recently, an inmate in her cell block said that an extra 20 years in jail would be worth the money they would get for killing her. Her lawyer stated the inmate who made the threat has been moved to the SHU, which is known as the Special Housing Unit, aka solitary confinement, presumably to protect Miss Maxwell. Now, this incident reflects the brutal reality that numerous prison inmates would not hesitate to kill Miss Maxwell, whether for money, fame, or simple street cred. Her lawyers have also mentioned that Miss Maxwell's emotional wound, saying that she had a difficult, traumatic childhood with an overbearing, narcissistic, and demanding father. They claim this made her vulnerable to the man named Jeff, who she met right after her father's death. Now, according to attorneys, it is the biggest mistake she made in her life, one that she has not and will never repeat. Last week, Maxwell's attorneys urged Judge Nathan to sentence the disgraced British socialite to a rough 4 years, less than the probation department's recommendation of 20 years in prison. And if you don't recall, in December, a jury found Miss Maxwell guilty of 6 counts, the most serious for sex trafficking minors, and her sentence will be handed down on June 28th in Manhattan's United States District Court. We'll let you know how that goes. Reminder to like the video if you do, subscribe if you have not done so already, leave me a comment and hit the bell so that you get notifications of when we go live or post a new video. Extra wallets are the most efficient small wallet in the world. Are you tired of losing your wallet? Well, Extra wallets come with a solar-powered tracker. The tracker has a worldwide lost and found network. The solar battery charges in 3 hours and lasts up to 2 months. Here I have a wallet from the Parliament Classic Collection. It's made of environmentally certified premium leather, has an extra pocket for cash, and holds up to 12 credit cards. The solar-powered tracker fits right here. Extra has tons of styles in their wallets to choose from, ranging from wallets and card holders to bag and laptop cases. Go to shop.extra.com/CrimeTalk and you will get 20% off site-wide. I'll put the discount link in the video description so you can check out the wallets for yourself. All right, a quick update on the Petito Laundrie civil case. So, as you may recall, the Petito family has sued the Laundrie family, basically alleging that they are somehow responsible for the death of their daughter based upon their son's actions. Kind of a stretch legally, and I'll explain more. A judge by the name of Hunter Carroll will hear arguments from both sides after attorneys for Chris and Roberta Laundrie submitted a response to a motion to dismiss the lawsuit that was filed by the Petitos, Joe Petito and Nicole Smith. Now, Petito and Schmidt have filed the lawsuit on the grounds of intentional infliction of emotional distress, claiming that the Laundries were aware Brian had murdered their daughter and chose not to act. The lawsuit also includes claims that Chris and Roberta sought to help their son flee the country and blocked Schmidt on her phone and Facebook page. 5 things to know about this lawsuit. Okay, first, the Petito family claims they have evidence that Chris and Roberta Laundrie were told by their son of Petito's murder on or around August 28th of 2021. The Laundries have chosen to remain silent. Chris and Roberta were never charged by authorities during the FBI investigation into Gabby Petito's death. Their attorney, Steve Bertolino, has stated that his clients cooperated with law enforcement and that their choice to remain silent to the public, including the Petito family, is protected under the United States Constitution. The initial witness list has been made public, which gives a glimpse into the strategy of the lawsuit. The witness list includes Gabby Petito's biological parents, step-parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, and representatives from the FBI and the Northport Police Department. Judge Carroll has scheduled a jury trial in August of 2023. However, that does not mean it is guaranteed to happen. A decision on whether to grant the dismissal or proceed to trial is expected to be released by Judge Carroll at some point in the summer. Camera access will be permitted in the courtroom, and camera access is permitted for Wednesday's hearing and throughout the trial. The hearing is scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will try to bring it to you. Now, I think this is going to be a tough case for the Petito family to prevail upon. Yes, you may not like the way the Laundries did what they did. However, I get it. You're upset. You're angry. But you have a right to obtain an attorney. You don't have to cooperate with an investigation. I don't think it rises to the level of a civil suit. Sorry, probably get some flack on that, but that's just the way it is. There's a lot of injustice in the world, ladies and gentlemen, and if you're looking for justice, going to the courtroom isn't the place to go. Dylan Rounds. The Box Elder County Sheriff deputies are continuing to work with other local, state, and federal agencies as well as law enforcement in other states in their search for a missing 19-year-old man. Dylan Rounds, originally from Rigby, Idaho, was last heard from on May 28th while in a remote community of Lucin in northwest Utah near the Nevada border. Now, according to family members, Mr. Rounds lived by himself in a camper trailer where he began farming grain a few years ago. On the morning of May 28th, Mr. Rounds called his grandmother, which is believed to be the last time anyone has heard from him. Family members say he has also called several relatives on or about May 25th after having a, quote, weird run-in, end quote, with a man on a gravel road. The man was spotted several days later in Montello, Nevada, according to the family. Rounds' family asked sheriff deputies to conduct a welfare check on May 30th of this year. Deputies found several suspicious circumstances, including a pair of Rounds' boots that had appeared to have blood on them, according to family members, no tire tracks in the dirt leading to where his pickup was found, or mud on the tires, and his phone and wallet were also missing. Box Elder Sheriff deputies issued an update on what it's calling a missing person criminal investigation. This is an active law enforcement missing person criminal investigation, the sheriff stated, and the Box Elder County volunteer team has logged over 300 hours searching, covering over 3,000 miles, not including the hours and miles traveled to and from the remote areas. Box Elder County Sheriff's Office detectives and deputies have said they've been searching around the clock weekdays and weekends. So far, detectives have spent over 650 hours investigating this case. The sheriff's office also said it's working with other agencies, including the FBI, the Utah Department of Public Safety, Aero Bureau, as well as officers in Weber, Davis, and Echo County looking for Rigby. But other than the number of hours and miles covered, the sheriff's office offered no information on whether investigators have recovered any additional information or evidence, stating that only information that would be not compromising to the investigation will be released. Family members say Rounds often visited Montello, Nevada, which is 26 miles from Lucin, and is the last known place he has been seen by somebody else. There is a $20,000 reward being offered for any information or leads that ultimately lead to Rounds being discovered. The sheriff's office is asking anyone with any information about Mr. Rounds to call 453-723-5227. If anyone has any information, someone, somewhere knows something, give him a call. Next, Dylan Rounds. I don't think this case is exactly what a lot of people in the media are making it out to be, but I think we'll have some new information. So we'll give you the story today, but we may have something coming up here in the next day or so. Well, the FBI is now involved in the case of missing 19-year-old Dylan Rounds, who disappeared from a remote farm near the Utah-Nevada border about a month ago. Now, Dylan's grandmother spoke to him on Saturday, May 28th, but no one has heard from him since. And according to his parents, there have been no signs of Rounds anywhere and no activity on his cell phone or his bank account. Dylan's mother and father sat down for their first joint interview since their son vanished. Dylan's father, Justin Rounds, said the main goal is to find Dylan. That's the first and only priority. But the other goal is to find out who did what and make sure that they get coming to them what the law requires. Now, Candace Cooley, Dylan's mother, said that when they hadn't heard from him by May 29th, she went to his farm and other family members as well, but found nothing out of place or suspicious. They figured maybe after putting his grain truck away, might he broken his leg, maybe he was bit by a snake, but didn't see any signs of a struggle. The family members searched the property, and 90 minutes later, Dylan's boots were found behind a pile of dirt about 300 yards from the grain truck. The boots were found in the opposite direction, as if he was walking towards his camper, according to Miss Cooley, and his boots were found with a dark substance on them, which the family thought was probably grease or oil. Investigators told them that it was blood, but it could have been from an animal. Now, while the family has received tips from people around the world about Dylan, where he could be, they've had to deal a lot with misinformation about the case. Strangers have set up a online fundraiser using Dylan's name and pictures, but his parents say those are not official, so don't donate. The family's not created any GoFundMe accounts or asked for any monetary donations. They want to stress that they are not working with any private investigators, just law enforcement. The Box Elder County Sheriff's Office in Utah has assigned every detective to Dylan's case, according to the Deputy Chief Cade Palmer. Teams have been in this area almost every day, but so far there's no solid leads. Rounds' parents are offering a $20,000 reward to anyone who finds him or knows where he might be. If you have any information, please contact the Box Elder Sheriff's Office at 435-734-3800. May have more coming to you on that here soon. Remember, you can listen to Crime Talk anytime on the go by listening to any of your favorite podcasting apps. That includes Audible, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Spotify. Brian Laundrie. That's right. The guy who we all know killed Gabby Petito on or about August 28th of last year. Well, as we recall, FBI searched and discovered her remains in the Bridger Teton National Forest back on September 19th of last year. Investigators ruled her death a homicide by manual strangulation and blunt force trauma to the head and neck. Well, Brian Laundrie then returned to his parents' home in Northport, Florida, about September 1st, citing a license plate reader recorder of the van rolling into town. That's where the police were able to know that's where he was headed. Now, according to the FBI, he also sent fake text messages from Petito's phone in a bid to cover up the crime and stole her credit card. Now, the Laundries went camping on a beach at the Fort de Soto Park south of St. Petersburg and said nothing of Petito's disappearance publicly. Then on September 11th, Petito's mother, Nicole Schmidt, reported her missing to police in her hometown of Long Island, New York. They contacted Northport police, who knocked on the Laundrie's door, where they met silence. On September 13th, Brian Laundrie snuck out into the swamp despite hidden surveillance cameras set up around his house, and this was the last time he was seen alive. Now, his family later voluntarily turned over the family's gun to the FBI and said one might be missing. Investigators did find a revolver near Brian's skeletal remains in the swamp when his body was located. So what is the news today after that quick little recap? Like I said, they found that Brian Laundrie took his own life, and they found some articles that were probably in the swamp but yet still being able to be protected because of the bags that they were in for some 5 weeks while Brian Laundrie's body remained in the Makahatchee Creek Environmental Park there in Florida. Well, in that little notebook, Laundrie wrote that he killed Petito after he claimed she injured herself when she fell in Wyoming. He also wrote, "From the moment I decided took away her pain, I knew I couldn't go on without her." Now, attorneys representing the Petito, Schmidt, and Laundrie families met at the FBI's Tampa's field office today, and news organizations have obtained copies of the notes scrawled by Laundrie before he took his own life. So really what it boils down to is, yep, he confessed. He did what everybody would expect to find in those particular documents. Well, since he took his own life after he was under investigation for murder and tried to get away with it. That's called consciousness of guilt. There was no doubt in my mind once it turned out to be a suicide. I still thought maybe he had a chance that he could escape the country, but apparently not. He screwed that up too.